Welcome back to Java Space. So in this video we are going to look at the after throwing advice. In the previous video we looked at the after returning. So in the after throwing advice, the name itself is also self-explanatory. So what we are trying to achieve here, we are saying if the target method throws an exception, then the proxy should delegate the call to the advice. So let's just see it in action quickly. So I'm just gonna also duplicate this call and say after throwing so in this case we have an attribute for the after throwing called throwing, and here we can just say exception E. Then this exception we can then specify it as so what we can do here, I have a couple of exceptions here. Let me see. So let's say resource not found exception was thrown. All right, a resource not found exception, resource not found exception E. I have to explicitly put E here because it's the one I'm saying I'm throwing. Then we are saying thrown. Then that's it. So you can, so in a real case scenario, what you would do here, you will maybe send an email, or do some other things. So here I'm just gonna log this message. So I'm going to run this code. Remember, we are just focusing on this method call here. All right, so let's run this code. As we can see, no exception was thrown, but let's try to request something that we know it's not there. It's a quiz not found. So you can see that the resource not found exception was thrown. The reason is because in the service, let me show you that in the service we are actually throwing this exception if it was not found in the DB. So before I close this, I'm gonna show you something. If I was just to put let's say I was to put access, what can I put here? Okay, let's say I was to put IO exception here, and then I run the code. Let's observe if this would be called. So I can even put IO exception here for the sake of clarity. Alright, so I'm just gonna say send, and here we don't have any console because the exception was thrown, but it's not the exception that we are expecting in the advice. That's why this code is not executed. So that's all I can say with the after throwing advice.